So today, like I said, it's all about how to use Niche Finder. And Niche Finder is one of my favorite tools, but I find a lot of people don't quite understand its true potential, the power that you can leverage from a tool like that, and where it actually fits into your product research journey. So when do you use it? How do you use it? We're going to go through all of that, and who knows, we might find some great niches along the way. We usually do when we do these ones. So taking it right back before we jump into the tool itself, I want to get the basics right. So what are we actually looking for in a niche? And whenever we put things like this out there, they're guidelines. They're not hard and fast rules. They're things that are going to make your job much easier when you're selecting a product. So what are we looking for? Small and lightweight. Now, the reason we want it small and lightweight is because it costs less to ship. Shipping, especially with COVID, that's seen quite a spike. So if you're shipping something heavy and big, it's going to cost you a lot more. So that's why we want it small and lightweight. And it also saves you on Amazon storage fees. It really helps. And minimal moving parts, non-breakable. It's just a no-brainer. It's things that aren't going to be broken in transit. If somebody drops the package while they're unloading it from a truck, it's not going to shatter. You're going to minimize your returns. Think glass things, they're breakable, and it's really hard to get the packaging right. It costs you more in packaging. These things all just eat into your margins. The other thing, electronics, they're really difficult, especially if you're selling in different countries, making sure that it's the right connections and right wattage, getting that all right. And obviously, anything electronic, you have safety issues that you need to keep in mind. Again, they eat in your margins. They're a lot more difficult. I'd have probably stay away from gated categories. Some people like that because it keeps other sellers out. But, if you're thinking of creating a supplement, you're going to have a lot more hoops to jump through, getting FDA approval and things like that versus just selling, a coffee cup. It's a very different process there. And fashion and seasonable items, just because, there's the returns, the average return rate for fashion items is 15%. That's quite high. A lot of those returns you can't do anything with. And seasonal, managing that inventory, especially, with freight the way it is, it can be quite difficult to manage that. So if you get your timing wrong, your quantities wrong, you can be left holding a ton of stock at a time where it's not in demand. So that's why I recommend that as your guideline. Again, it's not a hard and fast rule. There's people selling in each one of those categories that are doing very well. It's just, if you're looking for that first product to start out with, this is going to make your life a lot easier. So I just wanted to put that out there. These are some examples of what I would probably steer away from. It's great to see so many people jumping into the chat as well. So Rukhshana in Sydney, I hope you're surviving lockdown. We've got someone from Canada, which is awesome. Greg from Brisbane. It's awesome. Great to see all you guys in the chat room. So the next thing we need to think about before we jump into the tool itself is, what marketplace do we want to look at? Because this is now a big decision. Previously people just thought US and that's it. They weren't really open to any other marketplace. But now the three big ones, I would say, USA, Australia, and the UK. Of course, we all probably are fairly familiar with the US. It's a big market, but with that becomes bigger investment requirements. Usually, it's competitive. You're really looking for those micro niches. So you want to drill down. You wouldn't be selling a yoga mat unless you've got a huge budget, but you're looking for a niche within a niche. And sometimes you'd go even further. But the payoff is that you usually have high returns when you do get the right product. There is a bigger payoff because you're selling to a bigger audience. Australia, on the flip side, is your macro niche. So that is where you would go on that macro level. You wouldn't niche down. So, maybe that's where a yoga mat would work. It is a lower investment cost. It's lower competition. But then the flip side is it's usually a lower return. So maybe your business strategy in Australia would be to release one product every 6 to 12 months and have, 5 or 6 products on there earning you a reasonable return. When they're added together, it's a super healthy business. Whereas USA, maybe you need to put all that investment capital into one product. Of course, everybody's different. And then the UK, slightly less competitive than the US. It has its own pitfalls in terms of language barriers. If you're going into those European countries, you usually need some outside help there, and the taxes and things like that. But it also has, it has a bigger payoff than Australia, a little bit less than the USA. I sound like Goldilocks and the Three Bears here, where it's finding the right fit for you. There is no answer, and I often get asked, which marketplace should I go into? And it really depends on what you're looking for, what your budget is, what your comfort factor is with risk, where you're located. So if you're selling in the same country that you're living in, you can have a huge advantage in terms of language, really knowing what resonates, what's wanted and needed in the marketplace. It can be a little bit harder selling in a different country to where you're living, but then, look at the payoffs, look at your product. There's so many different factors to consider. So if I can drive anything home, it's personal. Have a really good think about what your business strategy is, what you're trying to achieve, and then find the one that's going to deliver on that. And there's no harm in launching in one, getting that underway, and then moving to a different market. It's not the be all and end all. So you could start in Australia and then move to the US, or vice versa, but just make sure that your product is right for that marketplace. So let's keep going. When do you use Niche Finder? So the Niche Finder tool is usually your first point of call, but it's not the be all and end all of your product research journey. So sometimes people can find a niche in Niche Finder that they love, and that's the end of their validation process. I just wanted to make sure that you know that that's not the case. You're creating a business, you're starting a business, you want to do all your due diligence. You want to make sure that you've got comfort in the data, you've got reliable information there, because what Niche Finder is doing, it's basically generating ideas for you. So it's getting all these niches in front of you. Sometimes you find niches that you've never even heard of. You don't even know what the product is. You didn't know it existed. Niche Finder helps you find those. It helps you shortlist those results. And because of the sheer amount of data that's in there, you need to then take it to the next step and have a look to see how it's performing right now. And that's where you move to the Chrome extension. So, things change so quickly on Amazon. A new competitor can pop up. Someone can drop their price. Something could change in the rules of Amazon. It's continually changing. So that's where the Chrome extension comes into play, because it's going to give you how it's tracking right now on Amazon. It's so valuable. And then after that, you kind of want to take that look back approach and see, is it seasonal? Am I looking at it at the peak period? Am I looking at it when it's in the most demand? And then you might base your decisions off that, order a whole bunch of stock, and then realize, actually, it only sells like that for 2 months of the year. Sales by will show you how it trends over time. So then by step 4, details about the niche, how it's tracking now, how it's tracked historically. Step 4 is to find out what pain points aren't being solved and what do your customers really love and hate about the products that are in that niche at the moment. So what can you do better? What can you differentiate and really solve a pain point? And this is super important in markets like the US, where it's a bit more competitive. You don't want to launch doing the exact same thing as 50 other people. You want to be that person that launches and has that pain point solved. So the first person that made the dish rack with the removable tray where you could tip the water out, that's a pain point being solved. And it usually is such a small change, but just think about in your everyday life, what annoys you? What could be done better? Is it being offered in the market already? That's where step 4 comes into play. But today is all about step 1. So getting those ideas, so generating those ideas. So let's jump into the actual tools itself, because I think that will help you get a better understanding of how to use it. Let me have a look. Now, this is Niche Finder, and just let me know if you've used this tool a lot, if it's brand new, what you think, your familiarity with it, and I can kind of gauge my responses from there. But you'll find it under product research, the very first one, Niche Finder. There's 2 modes, easy mode and advanced mode. Personally, I'd go straight to advanced mode. So that's where I'm going to kind of take today's training. Don't be put off by the word advanced. It doesn't mean you need to be an advanced seller. It doesn't mean you need to have been using ZonGuru for ages. It literally, means you have full flexibility, and we all want that. We want to be able to tailor our niches, our products to what we're looking for. So you can see there's a whole bunch of filters. Yeah, great. So I can see a few people are new, or they're just starting to use it, which is great. So all these filters here can seem quite overwhelming. There's a lot of information, but it's actually a lot easier than what you think. So we've got our 4 main filters here. And if anyone's familiar with the niche rainbow, which you'll see on the Chrome extension, that's what the rainbow is composed of. So you've got things like buyer demand, competition, investment, revenue. Some are fairly obvious. So buyer demand is basically how likely someone is to buy from this niche. And it looks at things like search volume, sales volume. Competition, it's how well optimized the competition is. The investment sweet spot. So this one can confuse people quite a lot. And what it's trying to work out is how much it's going to cost you to get into this niche. And it's based on how much stock you need for 3 months if you were selling at a page 1 sales velocity. And I stress this, not everyone has the budget for that. Not everyone wants to do that. This is really subjective. And it's based on an investment of $10,000 to $15,000. And of course, that could be way under or way over someone's investment budget. So you can definitely adjust this to suit. And there's also a launch budget over here where you can really get into the granular detail, but I'll get to that in a second. And then we've got revenue potential. So this is the estimated profit that the niche provides for the price point and the sales velocity that it's doing on average. And the combination of these 4 make up the niche score. So it's up to you whether you want to adjust these individually or just say, overall, I want it to be 50 and above. So the higher, the better on all of these. So the higher the niche score, the more opportunity there is for you as a seller, basically. And then over here, we have our granular terms. So we've got how many, what's the search volume you want on that niche per month, the average revenue, sales, how many ratings, the average rating. So that's, is it a 3-star or 5-star average rating, launch budget, everything is in there that you could want to know. But what I want to point out is you've got all your marketplaces up here that you can search for. And I think today we'll base it around, I'm just seeing some questions come through. Is the rainbow from bottom to top? Yeah, so that's sort of the higher the rainbow, the better for you as a seller. And what I wanted to start with is maybe if we were looking in Australia, we would go here, we would select our categories, maybe we'd go pets, kitchen and dining is always good, maybe we'll do baby. So when I'm picking these, I'm thinking about those factors we said at the start, something small and lightweight, minimal moving parts, non-breakable. These categories usually deliver those items more so than others. So I'll plug those in there. With Australia, I kind of like using this one, the percentage of FBA sellers. So if you're ever not sure as well what a metric is, just hover over the question mark and it will give you more information. So it's saying the percentage of FBA sellers in the niche. And the reason why I think this is important for Australia is that there's not a lot of FBA sellers, and Amazon gives preference to FBA sellers. So if I pick a niche that has a low percentage of FBA sellers, and I am one, I'm going to be given priority. Australia, like I said, is a much smaller market, so maybe I drop that search volume down to 800. Ratings aren't as important in Australia because it doesn't have that history. There aren't a lot of sellers there that have built up lots of ratings. I do want my price point above $25. The reason why I want a higher price point is because there's more room in there for profit. My margins are going to be healthier, especially if I'm doing advertising campaigns and things like that. I want to make sure there's enough room in there to make it worth my while. So maybe I'll just keep the niche score above 50%. I'm not so concerned about the competition because in Australia, it's fairly weak across a lot of niches, which is great news for sellers. Maybe that's what I start with. I can always put in a launch budget here. But if I like this filter and this is a setting that I want to come back to and search often, I can actually go to filters and save the filter. That means that I don't need to keep thinking about this every time I go to find a niche. I can just come in and select my filters from the list. So maybe I say like this one here, click search. And in a few seconds, I'm given all these niches. So it's based, you've got the summary here. So cat tree, it gives you a list of images of competitors in that category at the moment. And it also tells me, how it's traveling for all of the metrics. So you've got your niche rainbow here. This is what this niche score is. And you can see 82%. That's really, really high for a niche. The buyer demand, so there's a lot of demand for it at the moment. Competition's not too bad. It's actually, so remember the higher the better. So if that number was 20 or 30%, it would mean that it would be quite competitive. But at the moment, there seems to be a lot of room there. Investment sweet spot. So that means that for an investment of 10 to 15,000, this one's pretty much bang on. And revenue potential, so it's showing healthy revenue potential, and you can see a solid search volume for Australia. That's very healthy. You've got so much information there, so much. And, that's the third one down. If I thought that was something I might want to go into, my next steps from here would be to click the little star and add it to my favorites. I can see someone else on the team has already done that. They've favorited this niche. So I would then keep going down. It seems cats are a popular product category at the moment. There's lots of cats there. Gerald, yes, so with the niche score, the higher the better. Higher the better on all of these ones. And you can actually order it. So you can order it from lowest to highest to lowest for any of these columns. So maybe demand was a super important metric for you. That was the one that you really was super important to you. You could order it so that the highest demand niches show at the top. So let me just do that. So cookware, 100%. Lots and lots of people looking for cookware. Maybe in lockdown, we're all wanting to bring out our inner chef. So that one has a really high demand. And I can do that for any of the key metrics here. So yeah, definitely the higher, the better. And let me just put this back to how it was. The results are only limited by what filters you put in here. So what you'll find, and I think there's 50 that show at a time, and then you'll see this load more button if there are more there, and it will just keep going and going and going and going. But if I have a look at some of these, thermos, I like the sound of that because it's sturdy. It's not going to break. It's fairly lightweight, and there's lots of different varieties. I'm just thinking in terms of differentiation, sizes, compartments. Maybe you have a thermos that has the hot and cold part and then another attached. Like the possibilities are endless there. Dog bed. This is in Australia, remember, so we're looking at macro niches. What else have we got? Electric kettle, I would stay away from being electric. Kettle, cookware, there's all sorts of things, coffee grinders, and it would just keep going and going and going. So lots and lots of stuff there. And the idea is that you just scroll down until something catches your eye, and it can be something that you don't even know what it is. I don't know what this one is. Okay, it's a type of pan. Sometimes you do get brand names. If you find something that is coming up a lot that you don't want to see, you've also got the option to exclude keywords. So maybe I really didn't like cats. I could then exclude the keyword cat here, and it will take that out of all my niche results. So I will not see anything that contains the word cat. So that is something that can be really helpful there. And of course, it keeps on going. So if I was looking now on the US, keeping in mind those filter options and what we know about the niche, how would my filters change? Because obviously it's very different. I'd be looking for something completely different. I'll just show you how I would go about the US. So you can see that's changed. I'm now increasing my search volume. So instead of 800, I want 2,000. I've still got my average price point, but now I've put in my maximum ratings. Again, USA, much more competitive. I don't want to be launching a product against someone that has 5,000 reviews. It's just not feasible. So I want to make sure whatever niche I choose doesn't have a lot of reviews. I am concerned with the listing strength and the competition opportunity here. Like I said, it's more competitive. I want to make sure that I am set up to be as successful as possible. And let's see what kind of search results we get from the US in comparison. So what have we got? Jolly Jumper. I don't even know what this one is. Let's have a look. Okay, it's like a waffle kind of make tortilla press. What else have we got? Steam oven, eco tank. Lots of window seat. I'm interested to see what that is. So cushions and things for a window seat, that seems very popular. Average ratings for America, very low. And I like this one because there's lots of different ways to, where it's colors, sizes, I can see they've got matching cushions. That's quite cool. There's a lot you can do there. Let's have a look. I really like the animal niche. So maybe I'll take these out and just focus on pet supplies and see what comes up. So as expected, we've got lots of kind of food relating things, but a dog cooling vest, that's quite cool. And you can see some different options here. Average ratings, super low. That's really low for America. Healthy price point. Look at that search volume. That is massive. That's per month too. All these metrics are per month. There's 18,000 unique individual searches for that phrase alone, which is amazing. And that may be one that I'd want to favorite. Now, if I keep going, let's have a look. Pet furniture. Pets are part of the family. They're willing to pay a premium for furniture for pets that look amazing. Like, look at that price point. That's in US dollars as well. If that was flat packed down, it probably wouldn't be as bulky as it appears. They're great opportunities. Now, I actually went through a few minutes before this call and found some that I really liked the look of and sent them to my favorites. And I did that using these exact filters that I have shown you. So I'll show you what some of these are, but just the creativity of some of these are really cool. And visually, it's such an easy sell. Like, you put a beautiful, cute cat in there, on a nice wall with it's a great product that you can see has a strong, solid niche. For the US, it's got quite a low launch budget. And again, average 130 ratings. So yeah, average 130 ratings for that phrase. Really low, really low. So I'm very impressed by those US ones. But if I want to see my favorites, just up the top here to the right, I can click on favorites. And these are some of the ones that I had a look at before. Actually, this one here, I forgot about this one. This one's great. Pet barrier for cars. So popping this in your car to prevent dogs from coming forward. This one, looks really great to me. The average revenue's really strong. Average ratings still quite low for the US. Lots of ways to diversify. And a great one for extending your brand out. Like, maybe if you wanted to have this, and then you've got these ones here are the actual covers that go on the cars. There's so much there for America as well. Good old bread box. I know I wanted to find one of these for my own home the other day. Like, these products are all meeting that criteria that I was looking at in terms of, look at the search volume on this one, 82,000. And it only has an average ratings of 365. So really good niches. And then for Australia, you know, a wine rack. We love our wine in Australia. So many ways to differentiate here. This one looks great, like they're stackable. You can see that the search volume is a lot lower, but that's what you expect in Australia. The launch budget is also so much lower, and 10 ratings. The average seller on that page has 10 ratings. It's crazy low. So same thing for chopping board. Again, small, lightweight, non-breakable, not electronic, not a gated category. It's just tick, tick, tick all the way down. But like I said, this is just a starting point to find the niche. Say you liked the look of the chopping board, that's where you would go across to Amazon and actually see, you know, how it was performing right now. So if we open that up, while that's loading, I'll just check the questions. So Regan said, yeah, oh, great. So we have what's called the Researcher Challenge, and it's a 13-day challenge that actually walks through each step of the validation process. If anyone's interested, just reach out to support and I will send you the link. It's amazing. So you said you've reached the profit and shipping and trying to convert to an Australian metric. Regan, I have a FBA calculator for Australia. So I will send that through to you, and hopefully that helps with that, because converting between US and Australia can be really difficult. And obviously each Amazon marketplace has different rates for selling fees, for FBA fees, for everything there. So I'll send that one on to you. It's specific for Australia. And if anybody else wants that, just let me know. So if I have a look, bear with me, I'll share my screen again. It sometimes goes quite slow when I am live and trying to record screens at the same time. And okay, that's set up. Let's try this. So remember, this is how the niche is traveling right now on Amazon. So Niche Finder generates the ideas. Now I want to see how it's doing at this moment. So I can see it's doing 107 monthly sales. The search volume is actually a lot higher now. So that's growing. The average price point is really healthy. And if I have a look at some of the competition, so we've got plain one here. A lot seem to be gray. This one's very cool with the grooves in it and a really simple way to differentiate. So that one's nice. And then you've got this one with the drawers, just ideas of how to do things differently. And look, that one's even got a grater in the side. I really like that one. That one's very cool. You know, ways to do things differently. You have a look to see, you know, is there anyone that is really stealing all the clicks and the sales? You can have a look. You can order any of these columns. So, you know, this one here is doing 70,000 a month, it's looking like. So this one is definitely leading the charge, followed closely by this one. So they're quite similar in the way they're laid out. So maybe that's telling me that that's what the market's wanting. Is there a way to do that differently? I can see these are both kind of plastic looking. Maybe there's an option to do that in wood. Keep in mind, if you are selling in Australia and thinking of doing things in wood or bamboo or any type of material, that could be, you know, you're facing extra fees when you ship things in just with our biosecurity laws. So they'll have to fumigate things like that. Just something to keep in mind with your margins. But it's all doable. And yeah, if I have a look down, it's not until here that I actually find a wood one. So maybe these ones are preferred. Again, I don't know anything about this niche. That looks great. But what I would be doing is taking this to somewhere like Pinterest. So I just typed in chopping board. You know, what is being done out there that I can possibly bring into my own product? You know, these ones all look quite similar. You know, maybe putting a handle on it so it can be a platter type as well. The little love heart cutout is super cute. You know, that's very simple. The jigsaw puzzle, how cool is that? You know, getting those ideas flowing is really a great step two. it all kind of comes together. From here, maybe I would want to add this to Sales Spy to see, how it's tracking over time. I can do that by just clicking the little plus icon, or if I wanted to copy their ASN, I can do that and manually put it into the ZonGuru tool. So Sales Spy is the next step up here. That's where you just enter your ASN, click add, and it will start generating that look back approach for you. So that is Niche Finder. I've been talking for about half an hour. So if you've got any questions about Niche Finder or anything in general to do with Amazon, just let me know. We're here to help. And like I said, we're a room full of sellers, so feel free to help each other. Monique, I can see that you're after the Australian FBA calculator, so I'll send that one on to you as well. But yeah, if anyone has any ideas on how they use Niche Finder differently, any filters that they really love, or what their next steps are, just let me know. But I am here to help with any questions you've got. And if you really are in the thick of that product research and you're feeling a bit lost, you're not sure what to do, I'd highly recommend checking out the challenge, because it does help you through each step. It breaks it down into manageable pieces, and it's content that's yours to keep. It doesn't run out once the challenge finishes. You can revisit it at any stage. So that's quite helpful. But just remember, Niche Finder is that big net you're throwing out there. And every product that I've ever launched started with Niche Finder, and it's the start of that journey. Kai, I'll just make a note that you're after that calculator. It sounds like there's a little bit of lag between me talking and the chat, so I'll just give it a moment. But yeah, any questions at all you've got, I'm here to help. And if you do get stuck along the way, just reach out to our support team. We're always there to help. And if I can move my face to the side, I'll show you where that is. So just this little chat bubble in the bottom here, just hit that and we'll be right with you. But yeah, with your product research, it looks like everybody's after that FBA calculator. And the good news is that we now have it for Australia, the UK, India, and America. Because if you haven't heard the news, we are fully optimized for Amazon India as well, which is really exciting. And it's a completely different ballgame to anything that we're used to with our traditional marketplaces. India is very exciting. It's such, as you can imagine, huge population. Yeah, Michael, I can definitely send. What I'll do is I'll send a link for all of those calculators through to anybody who wants it. And they're yours to keep as well. You can just download those and get them there. So what I would be also doing with Niche Finder is just very much use that favorite option, because I'm not sure if you can see, if it might be too small. You do have a number of searches each month. There are a lot, but you'll find that you can go through them when you're really in that research phase. Use your favorites, because you can come back to your favorites anytime without using a search. It's always there for you. And so is there any way to find the Blue Ocean products, which is about to be viral, rather than competing with competitive? Yeah, that's what everybody's after. So with those products, what you're really wanting, I'd be looking at places like TikTok, Instagram, seeing any really new trends that are kind of popping up that aren't yet known out there. And the USA is probably the best marketplace for that, because again, Australia to the UK to a certain extent, it's people might not know to search for it just yet, but you'd be surprised what you can find on those social media platforms. So I'm just going to drop a link in for everybody. If you visit that site, you'll be able to download all the FBA calculators there. So, they're yours to keep. Just drop the in. That will save me emailing everybody individually. I've just found the link, so I dropped that in there. But yeah, that's the goal. You really want to find a product with low competition, high demand, solid price point, just keep in mind there's no such thing as 100% perfect niche. You're always going to have competition. Competition is healthy. What I find is better is if you focus on solving a pain point. So solving something that is usually very obvious that somebody's not doing. You differentiate for a purpose. You're going to create that raving fan base. Looking on TikTok and Instagram really helps find those fresh, crazy new ideas. So a combination of those can definitely help. Great, Monique. If you're wanting to do the challenge, let me see if I can find that link as well. It is a paid challenge, so it's $49. It runs for 2 weeks, but like I said, that content is yours to keep forever. And we've had some great feedback with it. I'll drop that link in there. You even get a ZonGuru t-shirt at the end, so you can jump on the camera with me. We can all be in our ZonGuru swag. So I've just dropped the challenge link in there as well. And we're on the verge of releasing a seller challenge, launch challenge. If anybody is interested in that, let me know and I can get you onto the beta program to check that one out as well. But you're very welcome, Roxana. The last, I've got everybody on here. We're actually recruiting as well. So if you are interested in joining the ZonGuru team, we are growing. We're always looking for, happy, positive people that are just all in love with e-commerce and wanting to get involved. The job is for Australian hours, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Monday to Friday. So fantastic opportunity for anyone that has an Amazon business, fits in nicely around that, or other life commitments, it's school hours. We're really wanting to find those people that are a great fit. And if that's of interest to you, email your resume and a Loom. So a Loom is just a quick little video. If you go to loom.com, it's free, to support at ZonGuru. We would really love to hear from you. Our team is growing rapidly. We're going into different marketplaces. It's a super friendly, positive team and a great way to connect with other sellers. So fantastic opportunity, and love to hear from especially our regulars on the training. It's really nice, to hear from you guys. So, Jordan, I'm sourcing at the moment and can use some guidance in launching and other aspects. Awesome. I'll take your details down, Jordan. You'll be the first to know when that seller challenge becomes available. Would love you to test it out. And it goes through all the pieces of the puzzle when you're launching, which can be a little bit overwhelming. And congratulations to, getting that far. So can ZonGuru help with product listing? Yes, we definitely can. So Veronica did an amazing training on that last week. And we've got one from John as well that I can send on. Our listing optimizer tool is super powerful, super powerful. What it does is it leverages our keywords on fire tool, and it really it tells you how well optimized your listing is compared to your competitors. What this is just a snapshot of this, but basically you've got your keywords here, if you've used them, if you've not, what your optimization score is versus that of your competitors, what your optimized search volume is per month, where you've used those keywords. There is so much there. So you can see if this was my listing, I've got a long way that I can possibly go. So I will send that training on to you because I really can't do it justice in a couple of minutes. That's one you want to get involved with. Let me just write that down. So Bill, suggestions for VAs. So this is a tough one. I'm just thinking, I personally don't use a virtual assistant. I'm just wondering what aspect of the business you're kind of wanting that for, because there's, let me see if I can find the link. Stop sharing. So Monique, was that for the listing optimizer training as well? Just so I know what to send. I feel like I need a VA to take notes on who to send what. And I'm launching model products now as I'm here. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so with Gerald, I'll send that to you as well. that should be launching in the next week or so. Love your feedback on what you think. Like I said, it's in beta testing. Just let us know if it helps, what you think, any feedback. That would be amazing. So let me see if I can find a link for the VA. Otherwise, I'd recommend dropping it into the, if you're not already a member of the Amazon, the ZonGuru Facebook page, so Amazon Seller Network, because there's always somebody there that has someone to recommend. They're amazing. Otherwise, zonsupport.com. The reason why I like these guys is that they're sellers themselves, and they're native English speaking. They are super helpful. I've got the link. Awesome. So Monica, I've got you down for the listing optimization. This has been great. So any other questions, just let me know. Otherwise, you know where to find me. Our next training next week, it's actually a joint partner webinar with Wish. I'm not sure if anyone's heard of Wish. There's something called Wish Wholesale, and they're huge. They're really gaining traction, and it's another sourcing opportunity. So if you're frustrated with, where you're finding your products at the moment, maybe you want to just see what other options are out there, Wish Wholesale could be a big opportunity. And going back to those products that are, you might not find elsewhere, it could be a good one. So jump on that. That's next Thursday. It's a little bit earlier in the day. It's 8 a.m. if you're in Australia. It's 3 p.m. if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. So Jordan, a lot of people have heard about it. It's gaining momentum. I did read some stats on it, and the numbers were just staggering, but this is the wholesale side. So, finding a product on the wholesale side that you can sell through Amazon. So it will be a really interesting one. And we've got Wish themselves, a representative from Wish on there as well, so you can hear it straight from the horse's mouth. And I know I'll be on there asking lots of questions as well. So looking forward to that one. So if you want to sign up for that, if you go to ZonGuru, I'm dropping links left, right, and center. Events page, let me just drop that one in there. You can save your spot there, and John will be hosting that one, but I'll definitely be in the room as well. So the events page is where you'll find that. Otherwise, it's been great, and wish everyone the best, and we're always here to help. Otherwise, I'll see you on a training session really soon. Take care.